$34. You'll get a great tour of downtown Austin. Our second option is our all-day hop-on, hop-off. That allows you to get off at any one of our 6 stops. You can self-explore the area, and then you can get back on the bus the next time around, which is every 90 minutes. That's $44. I'll say most people do the single loop tour. And it's up to y'all.
What do you want? What do you want to get on, right? What do you want?
Did you already, was someone else?
The one's on.
Okay. What do you think?
Hour and a half. 90 minutes. 90 minutes, hour and a half. All right.
Nice weather, and then the summer comes roaring back one last time to kick up us a little bit more. So you guys just missed the false fall. So good luck this weekend. All right, man, I'm so glad to see everybody. Everybody looks so good tonight. Oh, you look proud of me like y'all. I won't say that to every tour. I always say it to the ones that I meet. I only mean everything I say. Hey, while we're up here though, we're sitting on top of this super tall bus. A couple things. Everybody's got to stay seated. Sound good? We're going to pass underneath some stoplights and trees and stuff like that. You can't be grabbing anything, especially the trees. Because if you smack somebody behind you with a tree branch, they will not be your friend for very long. You got to keep your hands inside too. Also, no smoking, but you guys can eat and drink, have a good time. I want y'all to have fun with me. There's one spot up here on 6th Street my mic might cut out for just a second. That happens. We're just going to have to deal with it for just 1 minute, about a block. I might start yelling at the people in my general vicinity because there's some things I like to talk about. But if that happens, it'll turn right back on. That'll be the only time that happens. Sound good, y'all? All right. Got a couple hats on here too. Keep a hold of those. There's going to be a few times where it gets windy, especially when we cross over the bridge for the lake. You'll notice, you'll be all right for right now. But if it flies off, we can't go back and get it. When we go over the bridge, for sure, it's going to get windy. So hang on to them things. All right, everybody. We're going to go up to 6th Street for the first time. This is going to be our first spot right up here. Anybody been up to 6th Street yet? Anybody familiar with 6th Street? Oh, we got one in the back. I see that's not. He knows what I'm talking about. All right, so we refer to 6th Street lovingly as Dirty 6 these days. So it's kind of like a Bourbon Street if you guys ever been down to New Orleans or anything like that. It gets kind of wild. They close out the streets. You know, a bunch of kids will be out there doing their kid things, maybe falling out a little bit. It can be a good time. There's a reggae bar up there called Flamingo Cantina. I don't go down to 6th Street very often. So I was there on Wednesday. Oh, I was dancing my booty until like 1:30 in the morning on a Wednesday. I paid dearly for it the next day. 100% worth it. But the great thing is, 6th Street ain't your bag. We got a couple different areas. So over there on East 6th Street, which is going to be everything east of I-35, we have really great restaurants, cool dive bars over there, but most importantly, they got this place called the White Horse over there. Straight up honky tonk. It is great. That White Horse over there has killer music every night. Texas country music in there. It feels like you're stepping into a movie whenever you go in that place. So remember, the White Horse, if you want a real taste of Texas in Austin, the White Horse is where you guys want to go. It starts up about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. It'll go till 2 in the morning. Every band in there is great. And in particular tonight, there's a band called the Harvest Thieves playing in there. Oh, those guys are so good. So if you guys want to taste a good old Texas music, man, the White Horse is ready to go. I got some other recommendations I'm going to give later. But that one right there, that is one of the best recommendations of this whole tour is to go to White Horse. So anyway, we're going to move over here. There's a whole other section on the other side of 6th Street. We got West 6th Street over there. So that's everything a few blocks west of Congress. That's like our, quote, more sophisticated side of 6th Street. Basically just means they got a bunch of money and no kids. So you can go over there. It's like our more modern side of 6th Street. It can be fun if that's your thing too. Sandra Bullock has a restaurant over there called Walking. Killer Bacon. But really, we're here on 6th Street. I don't want to just talk about party. This is all commercial and trade district here. So 6th Street was our main commercial area because the river used to flood all the way up to 3rd Street back in the mid-1800s. So this was an old cattle yard, and this is where the stockades were back in the late or mid-1800s. But then it later became our business area. You notice that from a lot of the Victorian architecture. Before our mic cuts out though, I want to tell you guys something real quick. We're going to go across this light. There's going to be a Museum of the Weird. On top of that building is a white building up there. There's a little white building I want you guys to look at right on the top up here. So we're going to cross past these trees. So this little white building that sits up here, back when they were filming What's Eating Gilbert Grape, And then for what's even go great, Johnny Depp lived in that little white building right up there. So when he was here in town visiting, he not only lived on 6th Street, but he lived right above the Museum of the Weird, which seems totally fitting since Johnny Depp has to be the weirdest dude to come out of Hollywood. I'm pretty sure he thinks he's Keith Richards. He doesn't think he's Keith Richards. He's still living it. Definitely living as Jack Sparrow. That guy's got more accessories than Mr. T. I love me some Johnny Depp. Don't get me wrong. But this is right here above our Museum of the Weird. This is our first stop along the trip here too. If you want to explore 6th Street a little bit, you guys want to check it out? All right, Mike, we're gonna have somebody jump off real quick. Have fun, y'all. Grab a brochure off the wall on your way out. We'll never leave a stop early. So if you guys are here on time, we might be a couple minutes late due to traffic, but we'll never leave early. All right, have fun, y'all. So, the Museum of Weird actually is what's it here down here. It's got old artifacts from horror films like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's really awesome down there. But this whole area was one of the most diverse areas in the entire city back in the mid-1800s. They had Mexican-American business owners next to African-American business owners, Lebanese and Syrian business owners, all on the same block, which is really rare for that time to have such a diverse population inside of a town, especially way out here in the west of Texas. So 6th Street was actually our main commercial area all through Austin up through its history. It comes about World War I. Powder Street became our main area. This became a little bit more run down, became a little bit more rubbish in that time. It's had its ups and downs throughout the years. But one of our oldest theaters in town is right here on your right. See this little awning right here? This is the Ritz Theater. It was built in 1929 as an original movie house. These were the earliest Austin films there. And most recently, Joe Rogan bought that and turned it into a comedy mothership. It brings in comedians from all over the world to come and play there. You never know who's going to show up down there. We're so glad we bought that. Our comedy scene here in Austin has gone through the roof in the last 1920s. Beautiful architecture all around, the balconies, everything you would expect from a beautiful theater of that era. Right next to it is the State Theater. And this State Theater was built in 1935. It's our oldest running movie house here in town as well. They do live action there too. But regularly you can see them playing old 35mm films inside the State Theater, keeping it alive here in Austin. Both of those are absolutely stunning theaters. If you get a chance to come back, keep an eye on their calendars. You can go in and see a show at the Paramount. You will not be sad that you did. They actually just played Texas Chainsaw Massacre in there last night. I really wanted to go down and see that. Oh, I was busy, but I wanted to go watch the 35mm film. Okay, reminiscing about the wouldas and shouldas. But straight ahead, everybody knows the star over Congress Street has got to be our Capitol straight in front of us here. The first thing you notice about our Capitol, though, it's got kind of a pink, maybe reddish hue to it. That's because it's made out of Texas red granite. That red granite came from Marble Falls, which is just about an hour and a half west of Austin. And the inside is made of Texas white limestone, which came down in southwest Austin, down in Oak Hill. I live just a few miles away from that. So that came from southwest Austin, Marble Falls. This was originally designed in 1881. It's the third house in the Texas government. So the first one was an old wooden building. The second one was actually on this location. And in the year that they designed this in 1881, that second one caught fire. They barely made it out of the Capitol with those plans for the new one. But it was built in the most Texas way you could possibly think of. So the contractors who built this Capitol weren't paid in cash. They were paid with 3 million acres of land up in the Texas Panhandle, which later became one of the largest cattle ranches in the world. And then not only that, but they used convict labor to get all of the granite and all the limestone up here. So if you thought our Texas government was cheap now, you should see it build a Capitol. Those dudes are like, we ain't got no money, but we got some land, and we definitely got convicts. So, we are not the tallest capital in the entire nation, but we are taller than our nation's capital, but we are the largest capital in the nation. We have over 330,000 square feet. We've had 2 upgrades. 1955 was the first year they got AC. 2 upgrades. 1955 was the first year they got AC. If you're around here this summer, you don't know how they would have gotten anything done. But then in 2008, they doubled the size of our capital. Does anybody notice where it's going to be? Any guesses? Got a few around here, I bet. All right, I will tell you. They dug 4 stories down underneath our capital. Doubled the size of it from 330,000 square feet to over 600,000 square feet for our capital. You can't even tell that they did it. The only way you'd even notice is on the north side. They got a row of skylights that are disguised as planters all the way around. And then they got like a reverse rotunda that you can see down in when you're walking around. That's the only way you can tell they double the size. We are by far the largest capital in America, or in the United States. It sits on 22 beautiful acres of land. After this summer, it's the only green grass left in the entire city. I don't know how they're able to keep it so green, all those beautiful oak trees. They don't let me use that water on my lawn, I can tell you that. It is a great place to come spend, especially later when it warms up. Y'all come visit the Capitol. It is beautiful inside and out. I'm gonna warn you, you're gonna see more Texas stars than you ever thought possible in your entire life. Just to give you a little heads up, you can look at the fences right here too. They got 3 stars per fence. So that's just the beginning. You're not even in the building. Once you get in there, they got stars everywhere inside there. But it is a gorgeous building. The Capitol Rotunda sits super tall in the air. You go up 4 stories and look over the top down there. And right now, our House and legislators are in, or the Senate and the House are both in session right now. Does anybody want to get off right here? This is our Capitol spot. Everybody doing good? Hanging on? All right. So what's crazy about our Texas legislative system is they only meet every 2 years. Every 2 years. I don't know what they do during the other time. They probably go off and make a bunch of money somewhere. Then they come back and they meet for 6 months. So they spend 5.5 of those months arguing and not getting anything done. And then the governor calls a special session. Then they spend another 2 weeks not getting anything done. And then they call a second and third special session. And then they finally pass a law. So they're in the middle of that special session right now. So you can go in there and see them down below working on it. Really, I think it's just a bunch of old administrators. I don't see them doing anything. We were in there last Monday. I didn't see any legislation. But anyway, here at the visitor center right here on your left, if you guys want to come visit, is the old General Land Office. This is the one they built after HP and blew a hole in the other one. So I want to point you guys straight ahead. This is the symbol of Austin that I think of. Straight ahead is our moon tower. We're the last city in the entire world to use moon towers. It was brought in because we had a serial killer in the 1880s here in Austin. The Servant Girl Annihilator. So the city was in an uproar. They brought these moon towers in to light the city. And it used to be lit by these 2 carbon rods. So these guys would climb up in this basket at the bottom, hoist themselves all the way at the top, and have to replace those carbon rods every few days. But really, I don't know if it's the moon towers that ended our serial killer. Because 3 years later, those same style of killings showed up in London. So many people believe that Jack the Ripper lived here in Austin in the late 1880s. And he was the serial killer that was here in Austin. So I'll leave that up to you guys to look at that, but it checks out in my book. But really what makes the moon tower so special, what makes it good to me, has anybody seen the movie Dazed and Confused? We got anybody on? Oh boy, all you guys got it. You guys know who Matthew McConaughey is? Okay, that's right. So that was his first film. That's where he had the iconic line. So it's about 1970s, last day of school here in Austin. It's Matthew McConaughey's first film. So they're throwing a party. His cakes show up early and his dude's dad busts the party. They ain't got him. So McConaughey's driving around in his car and pulls up next to his girl. He goes, "Here, that's party getting busted. Got a GPS in the works. Party at the moon tower. Alright. So that moon tower from that film, that iconic, I go, alright, is down in Zilker Park. So you can visit Zilker Park down there. It's our biggest park in the entire city. We just had Austin City Limits down there last weekend. It's also home to my favorite pool, the Barton Springs pool. It's the Natural Springs pool that comes up. I love Zilker Park. You guys go down there and take a walk around. It might be still a little close from anything else this week right here, but that's where that moon tower is located. It's our best park in the entire city. With incredible views of downtown too. Right here. This is one of our north parks here. This is Washington Park. So this is where we did this one a couple of years ago. It's a residential park. 3 parks to be down here. We got massive vegetation. There's a popular jam session down here as well. Building downtown. It's totally wild. They used to bring those cars down here to Austin, or down into the city on South Congress that we were driving down. They'd block off the whole entire street. And they would let those cars start doing donuts up and down Congress Street. It was wild. Those cars sound like nothing you've ever heard before in your life. If you guys haven't a chance to see it, we're used to hearing cars rev up. It's this real high-pitched whining sound that like you feel in your chest. It's insane. So F1's here in town. You see all these racing jerseys running around, you see groups from all the world, that's what they're here for. Earth movers. Hey, can I draw your attention here to the left? Come up here on the left, this is Dell. This is our Michael Dell Seton Teaching Hospital right here on the left. This is the very first teaching hospital to ever be on the university campus. They just completed it in 2021 and they graduated their very first medical class that same year. So the Susan and Michael Dell Foundation, they donated $25 million to help build this. You can get your name on the side of the hospital too for $25 million. You got it next. Head on down to City Hall. Let's take it. I'll call it. Well, this is part of a $330 million upgrade to the University of Texas health system in conjunction with the city of Austin and the university. So not only that, but this last July, between the Dell Medical Children's Hospital and the Dell Medical Teaching Hospital, they did the very first pediatric heart transplant in Central Texas just this last July. So they're bringing this super high level of medical teaching here into Austin. So one of the things they want to know is right now. You see this giant building up here? Same as that big drum? That's the Frank Irwin Center. That used to be our old event center with the UT men's and women's basketball team would play. Pink Floyd's been in there. Old Taylor Swift has played inside that building too. They're currently taking that down though. And in its place, they're going to be expanding the UT system over here and bringing the MD Anderson Cancer Center up here to Austin. So they've got the one down in Houston, and they're known to be the leading cancer center, treatment, and research center in the entire nation. So they're building their second location right here on the University of Texas location in partnership with Dell Medical. I'm super excited to have that as part of that initiative. It's been in building for the last 10 years. We're excited for that to finally happen. They were going to blow that big building up. Turned out it was a bad idea in the middle of the city to blow up the building. Apparently asbestos is the problem. Anyway, to your right here. Built in 1856, this is the old asylum for the blind. The University of Texas bought it, remodeled it, brought it back to its glory. Now it's home to a lot of faculty and staff. And I want to welcome you guys from the little campus right here onto the main campus of the University of Texas. The University of Texas was built in 1883. It's one of the largest public universities in the entire nation. It started with just 221 students. Now it has over 50,000 students that go to the University of Texas. Now just 24 teachers to start with, now 24,000 faculty and staff on the city. And the city within itself on this campus right here. It's an extremely difficult one to get into. Only 30%, 6% of all opportunities to make it in. Hey, remember the Frank Irwin Center? I told you about to take it down. Right here, the Moody Center. This replaces, this is our new state-of-the-art event center right here. 365-degree glass all the way around. Goes 4 stories down beneath there. This is where the volleyball and basketball teams play. It's also where our biggest concerts happen. Saw Pearl Jam there about 2 weeks ago. Still the greatest brand of our generation. Tonight, Chris Stapleton's going to be in there playing. That place is absolutely beautiful. Oh man, we love that song right here. Oh, I know I see your eyes already finding it. It's right here. This is the biggest building on the entire campus right here. This is our Gerald K. Royal Memorial Stadium. This is the home of University of Texas football. This stadium right here is the 9th largest stadium in the entire world. It is only the 3rd largest in Texas. It's behind Kyle Stadium and College Station, AT&T Stadium up in Dallas. Although when the Cowboys play, they can only seat 85,000. They have 100,119 seats inside of this stadium right here. Over 100,000 people come to their games every weekend. This whole area turns into a giant tailgate party. It's absolutely wild. Gerald K. Royal was known to be one of the greatest football coaches in UT history. Won 3 national championships, 63, 69, and 70, 11 conference titles, and named the stadium after him. This whole place turns into a huge party. You can see where they have it set up right here for every tailgate season they do. And right after this right here, you can see this giant white building. That big white building, you're right there. That's the that's a Lyndon B. Johnson Presidential Library and Museum. It's the very first presidential library to ever be put onto a public university. I'm not gonna lie, guys, that place is awesome. A lot of people would pass up a presidential library. It seems like it would be more, but it's not. It's totally rad. He's donated over 50,000 of his own items in there, including love letters that he wrote to Lady Bird Johnson. They have a replica of the Oval Office at the time when he was in office there. They also have an old limo there, but when you walk in, there's a big ceremonial staircase and a giant glass wall that you can overlook the library from. But most importantly, it's an incredible snapshot of time from the mid-60s to late 60s here in America. Very tumultuous time in America. A great way to get that history. It takes about an hour and a half to go through the things. It's not even long. If you can carve out that time, you would not be upset that you went in there and visited the library. Hey, does anybody want to get on here on YouTube? Everybody hanging out? All right. Okay. Yeah, you guys can get up here and visit that, man. I love going into that Capitol. My son is a huge history buff. He loves it too. He's only 12. I don't know. He's like 80 in a 12-year-old body. We're good up here, Mike. Yeah, buddy. Straight ahead right here. Can you guys see the main tower? That's the symbol of the University of Texas. You'll find it on everything. That is the UT main tower, built in 1927. It was actually built as a library here on campus. So when they first built it, the bottom 2 floors were the reading rooms. And if anybody remember the old card catalog back when we were kids, you had to know exactly what to listen for. You thumb through that card catalog. Eventually you write down that Dewey Decimal System and take it to the librarian. Their librarians wore roller skates inside of it. So they would roller skate up into the tower and find your books up there for you, and then they would lower them down via a dumbwaiter. So they started doing that for a lot of years, and then eventually the campus began to grow too much. About 1960s, it was taking like an hour to get a book. It was unsustainable. So in 1960, they eventually moved that library to another location over there. But I want you guys to look up. See that clock tower straight ahead of us there? Just below that is the 28th floor observation deck. So we used to be able to visit that. So prior to the 2007 mass shooting on Virginia Tech, this was home to the largest mass shooting on any public campus. On August 1st, 1966, a 25-year-old engineering student and ex-Marine climbed his way all the way up that 28th floor through the library, and he barricaded himself up on that observation deck. He had a full 365-degree view all the way around the campus and the surrounding area. He was up there for 96 minutes. 96 minutes. He sat up there with a rifle, and he killed 16 people and wounded 32 others. He was up there for 96 minutes. Down below, people hadn't experienced something like that. The breadth of which he was working with was so large that it took people a long time to figure out what was exactly happening. It was almost 30 minutes before police officers made it to the building. Eventually, two Austin police officers were able to make it in and climb to that 28th floor and break through that barricade. Police officer Houston McCoy. That was August 1st, 1966. Finally, police officer Houston McCoy met the killer right there on that observation deck and was able to shoot and put it in to that massacre on that day. So in spite of that tragic day, it stands as a symbol of celebration here on the University of Texas campus. You can see right here on this pole, see how they lighted up burnt orange? And they put one down the middle. You can see right here off the left side of the bus. They light that thing up burnt orange every time they have a victory here, whether it be volleyball or basketball, especially football, they'll light that thing up. But the brightest I've ever seen them light that tower up. They want the whole city to know when they're victorious. One of their students won Jeopardy. And they lit that thing up so orange up in the sky. I was actually really proud. I was like, oh, I love you guys celebrating the big brains, not just the sports. Everybody loves sports, but man, celebrating the dude from Jeopardy, that's where my heart goes. So you might be wondering how they pay for this big old university. Obviously, 100,000 person stadium right there is a serious chunk of change. I think most of that goes to the coach. Man, they pay that dude a lot of money. We got students around here. They're bringing in some serious coin. Got some famous alumni. But y'all know you're in Texas, so you know where that money comes from. That sweet Texas gold. The University of Texas, it's a land-grant university. They got land all over the state. They didn't do any of that drilling here on campus, but between 1917 and 1919, they got 5,000 permits to drill for gas and oil. So they did that. They brought in one in particular, Santa Rita number 1, and it got started 4 hours before the permit was set to expire. Drilled for 2 straight years, didn't find any. Finally, the struggle, that sweet Texas gold, that oil in 1921, sprayed it all over the countryside, found one of the largest oil caches in the entire state. They got that first royalty check, $556.16. There's the Santa Rita number 1 to our left right there to celebrate that $556. Obviously, that has continued to grow over the years and become an enormous sum of money that's helped pay for this beautiful university that we're driving through right now. They have campuses in San Antonio, down in Houston. They got research centers all over the world. The University of Texas is an absolutely beautiful university. They've had some killer alumni that have come through here too. Famed astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson went to the University of Texas. Walter Cronkite went here as well. One of the greatest pitchers of all time, Roger Clemens, he pitched for the University of Texas. We'll forget about a couple years where he might have got a little juice in there. We also had, Janis Joplin went here. I don't know how often she actually came on campus, but she was actually a student. And of course, our boy Matthew McConaughey. That's our man. You find Matthew running around campus all the time. He's a guest professor here as well. But most likely you'll find him down the football field, going up and down the sideline, doing his little "We Are Marshall" chant, hyping up the kids down there. But man, when that dude's out making people feel good about themselves and writing children's books, you can find him wandering around Austin. He's part owner in Austin FC up there too. So if you see Matthew running around town, you just tell him Jason said hi. He'll be like, who? He's grown up a lot since his Naked Bongo days back in the day. You guys ever read his book, Green Lights? It's actually a really, really good book. It's sort of autobiography, but it's also like a lifestyle book. Oh, it's so good. He talks about playing bongos naked. And he decided not to put on any clothes when they took him to go get arrested down the day. The police officer was like, you're going to jail, man. You might want to put some clothes on. All right, right here to your right, guys. This is the Blanton Art Museum. This is the largest art museum on any public university. It has over 17,000 pieces of art in there. old Renaissance paintings, ancient Greek pottery. They also have modern expressionism, if you know what that means. But they've recently redid the whole outside of this too. They've decorated with these beautiful Lorax-style fake trees. But they'll do concerts right outside. You can see the stage right up front. They just celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month just last week out here. They'll bring out bands and play, and they'll set up all kinds of food trucks along here. So the Blanton Museum is not only beautiful inside and out. Set up shows inside grocery stores, parking lots, alleyways. Every club is open at noon, and they just play music from noon till midnight, or noon till 2 in the morning, all over the city. So you just show up, and you just walk up and down the streets until you hear something cool. You dive in, and it might be a band from Japan playing in here, or Australia. A band from the UK might be down here. You'll end up discovering music that you've never seen before. And you honestly don't even need to buy a ticket. They can sell you wristbands and stuff that you can get for night shows, but honestly, you don't even need it. Most of the places are free, and not only that, but they'll offer drinks too, just to get you to come in. It's like the best version of Old Austin. So if you guys ever will get adventurous, and you want to come back to town sometime, come back in March at South by Southwest. So is anybody going to F1 this weekend? We got any F1 people on board? Oh, they're all lining up to head out. So we got F1 this weekend. It's like having the Super Bowl in town. You get like 400,000 people from all over the world show up. All the buses that were lined up here are all going to be shuttling people out to our racetrack outside of town. It's totally wild. They used to bring those cars down here to Austin, or down into the city on South Congress that we were driving down. They'd block off the whole entire street, and they'd let those cars start doing donuts up and down Congress Street. It was wild. Right here on our left, this is our Bob Bullock Texas Straight History Museum. We've got the biggest Texas star in the entire city in front of me. This right here is a great way to get a little taste of Texas history. It also tells the story of Texas. So it doesn't just stop with the old history. We do have the Declaration of Independence in there for Texas. Also have the old control center for the Project Gemini missions that they were launching out of NASA down in Houston. But you can find tons of stuff about history in there, but also tells the ongoing story of Texas as well. Like with the advent of Tesla coming into town, with SpaceX arriving here too, continuing on with that space exploration. It is also home to the largest IMAX screen in the entire state. It's got dual laser projectors in 3D inside there in that IMAX. I went in there one time, yeah, they got an underwater movie going on right now at noon every day. It's like living underneath the ocean. It's the closest we'll ever get, and it's in 3D. So it's at noon. And then they got one about the Serengeti at 1. So come check it out. Super rad. The inside there is great. They also do these one-off films in there. So I went in there one time to see U2 play in 3D, and it was so awesome. But by the way, y'all know who Bono is? You do not need to see Bono in 3D. You do not want to be up on stage with Bono in 3D. He grabs that camera, he gets in your face, and you're like, oh, that's enough, Bono. You got like 50,000 people out here. Let's focus on them. I'm just trying to enjoy the show. Bono's a weird dude. I love what he does for the world. Strange guy. Anyway, they do super rad stuff inside there. Hey, we might have a second. Is everybody doing all right? Anybody need any sunscreen or anything? All right. Oh, I love my downstairs crew. I'm hanging out up here, all of a sudden random voices start flying up the stairwell. Does anybody need any water up here? You guys good? You guys hanging with the heat? We got AC downstairs if anybody needs to move around at all. Who's here from the farthest place away? Did I hear Minnesota around here? Ohio, yep, we got Ohio coming around. Florida, oh, that might take it. We're getting close. Oh, we get some applause from Florida in the back too. Oh yeah. England, oh, we take the cake up right. Oh, we got England up here. Oh man. So my son got to go to England for the first time when he was 12, and his grandma used to fly for like Delta, they can fly like real cheap. And he went all the way over there on his own for 4 or 5 days. I told you he's a total history buff. So this guy goes over there and flies over there, 12 years old. I'm super jealous this guy gets to go to London. And he does all the coolest exhibits and museums around. He came back a changed dude. You know, like I see you got your son down here on a vacation. That's the kind of stuff we do for each other. You know, we go and inspire each other. We go do cool things, build us up, get us to go around and get inspired and come around. We got more kids on here too. You guys want to come down and get some water and some AC? You guys getting to skip school today? Oh, even better. So Dad's teaching you. Oh, showing you the world. Yeah, come down. We got a couple minutes if you guys want some water. Yeah, field trip. You gotta pick a good time to come join us this morning because it's gonna get hot later. Alright, a couple more heading down, Mike. We'll get them settled up. Check on my people real quick and we'll get on out of here, guys. How we doing down there, Fred? Right here on the left. This is our Bob Bullock Texas Strait History Museum. We got the biggest Texas star in the entire city in front of me. This right here is a great way to get a little taste of Texas history. It also tells the story of Texas. So it doesn't just stop with the old history. We do have the Declaration of Independence in there for Texas. Also have the old control center for the Project Gemini missions that they were launching out of NASA down in Houston. But you can find tons of stuff about history in there, but also tells the ongoing story of Texas as well. With the advent of Tesla coming into town, with SpaceX arriving here too, continuing on with that space exploration. And it's also home to the largest IMAX screen in the entire state. Got dual laser projectors in 3D inside there in that IMAX. I went in there one time, yeah, they got an underwater movie going on right now at noon every day. It's like living underneath the ocean. It's the closest we'll ever get, and it's in 3D. So it's at noon. And then they got one about the Serengeti at 1. So come check it out. Super rad. The inside there is great. They also do these one-off films in there. So I went in there one time to see U2 play in 3D, and it was so awesome. But by the way, y'all know who Bono is? You do not need to see Bono in 3D. You do not want to be up on stage with Bono in 3D. He grabs that camera, he gets in your face, and you're like, oh, it's enough, Bono. You got like 50,000 people out here. Let's focus on them. I'm just trying to enjoy the show. Bono's a weird dude. I love what he does for the world. Strange guy. Anyway, they do super rad stuff inside there. Hey, we might have a second. Is everybody doing all right? Anybody need any sunscreen or anything? All right. Oh, I love my downstairs crew. I'm hanging out up here, all of a sudden random voices start flying up the stairwell. Does anybody need any water up here? You guys good? You guys hanging with the heat? We got AC downstairs if anybody needs to move around at all. Who's here from the farthest place away? did I hear Minnesota around here? Ohio, yep, we got Ohio coming around. Florida, oh, that might take it. They're getting close. Oh, we get some applause from Florida in the back too. Oh yeah. England, oh, we take the cake up right. Oh, we got England up here. Oh man. So my son got to go to England for the first time this year. He's 12, and his grandma used to fly to like Delta. They can fly like real cheap. And he went all the way over there on his own for 4 or 5 days. I told you he's a total history buff. This guy goes over there, flies over there, 12 years old. I'm super jealous this guy gets to go to London. He does all the coolest exhibits and museums around. He came back a changed dude. You know, like I see you got your son down here on a vacation. That's the kind of stuff we do for each other. You know, we go and inspire each other. We go do cool things, build us up, get us to go around and get inspired and come around. We got more kids on here too. You guys gonna come down and get some water and some AC? You guys getting to skip school today? Oh, even better, so Dad's teaching you. Oh, showing you the world. Yeah, calm down. We got a couple minutes if you guys want some water. Yeah, field trip. You gotta pick a good time to come join us this morning because it's gonna get hot later. Alright, couple more heading down, Mike. We'll get them settled up. Check on my people real quick and we'll get on out of here, guys. How we doing down there, Fred? And in honor of her, she told me I have to tell everybody on my tour about the gift shop inside the Bob Bullock Museum. I was like, Mom, nobody wants to hear about a gift shop. She said, tell them more. I was like, all right, Mom, I got you. So my mom comes to town every single time she's here and makes me take her to the Bob Bullock History Museum just for the gift shop inside. And she buys 2 new Texas books every time she comes here. I'm like, Mom, you live in Kansas City. Why do you have 8 books about Texas in there? She's like, it's the best gift shop. You tell everybody about it. So there you go. Don't sleep on the gift shop inside the Bob Bullock. Okay, guys, we're gonna cruise on right here. I want to point out one of the newest things around here. This is a really big upgrade to this area right here. So this right here used to be a street along here, but they just recently finished it just about 2 months. This is our new Capitol Mall. It's going to stretch all the way from the north side of the Capitol, all the way down here to the Clinton Art Museum. This is going to be one of our newest areas for a lot of our festivals, our concerts. This is when we're tailgate for the University of Texas football games down here. I can't wait to see what they do. We look for an excuse to throw a party anytime we can, especially festivals where we can get some food out here and some drinks and music. So this is going to be the new home for that. So maybe you guys coming back around next spring, we'll be having some stuff out here. But the coolest thing about this is that parking is impossible here in town. So this is actually designed as a 3-story parking garage down below our Capitol Mall. So those little glass buildings that we saw, that's how you get down in there. That's how they solved our parking problem with all these state buildings around. They gave us a place to park. We gotta live off. All right. I want to see if I can tap into your imagination just a little bit. I want to give you a little history about this area. So we're going to go back to very early 1800s. I want you guys to kind of see if you can picture this area with all of our state buildings, the giant glass monstrosities we got downtown, all of our great music. We're going to get rid of all this. We'll go back to its extremely rugged land back in the early 1800s. This is a tough land to live on. We did have our beautiful rivers, and Barton Springs is still bubbling up out of the earth down there, but it was not easy living to come live here. And at that time, this was Mexican territory, but that territory was owned by the Spanish. So for 10 years, the Mexicans fought the Spanish to earn their independence of this land. So eventually, in 1821, they finally won that battle and won their independence from Spain and took control of all this land. So at that time, in doing so, though, started to make the president a little bit nervous. He didn't like the changing demographics in the area, but it was easy to get people to settle because at that time in America, an acre of land was $1.25 an acre. So by the time they legalized all their land out here and got it settled up, it worked out to just 4 cents an acre. 4 cents an acre to come out here and live. So obviously he started to see a change in demographics in here. Some didn't like what he saw. Part of it was that the Anglos were outnumbered to Tejanos almost 10 to 1. The other part was a lot of people moving here from the southern states, they were bringing slaves into it. He didn't like what he saw about that either. So he decided that he needed to change the progress that was happening up in this area. So he came up with 5 laws. 5 laws to limit the settlements up here. So the first of which was he knew he needed to get in touch with that money. So he wanted everybody to start paying property taxes on that. You know that was going to be a serious chunk of change when you got over 4,000 acres up there, even back then. So the second law was that everybody had to start speaking Spanish. So on top of that, they had to start learning Spanish too. Third, obviously you can't be bringing any more slaves in. He was opposed to that, so no new slaves could be brought into the area as well. Fourth law was that everybody had to convert to Catholicism. So not only that, but he wanted everybody to convert to Catholicism for that too. And then our final law was no new American settlers could be brought into this land. So obviously that upset a lot of the settlers that were living here, led to the Texas Rebellion. Started to be a lot of skirmishes around the area around here that eventually took us all the way back to the Alamo. So that big battle, that battle of the Alamo Mission. Has anybody been down San Antonio, been to the Alamo yet? Got a few out here, it's way smaller than you think, right? Last few we heard was there's no basement in the Alamo. So yeah, it's way smaller. So when you get down there, you can imagine it was taken over by over 200 Texas rebellions. Anywhere between 200 and 250 of those rebellions. Over the Alamo Pass. We're going to come across the north side of the Capitol. See those planters going on right there? That's where that Capitol upgrade was. Very easy to Texas rebellions took it over. So the President Bustamante sent up General Santa Anna up here with 1,800 troops. So he marched up to the Alamo and went to the Alamo there, and they battled for 13 straight days. 13 days they held them off. Eventually Santa overtook the Alamo and killed every last Texas rebellion in there. He left everyone but 2 alive. And he left them to go tell the story of the Alamo. That was his first mistake. So they went out, and that led to the battle cry, "Remember the Alamo." So they went around and told everybody that they could, spread the word all along there that this is what's happening. And then eventually Santa Anna turned his troops out east towards Sam Houston. Sam Houston was able to rally together about 900 Texas rebellions. This is back in the day whenever they'd meet up, they'd be like, "Hey, we're going to battle House Tuesday at noon sound. I look at you, we'll line up over here, you line up over there, Tuesday at noon, we're going to go at it." Horrible way to fight. But anyway, that's how they roll. That was his second mistake. So they marched all of his troops all the way there. They got there, and then they were worn out and tired. So he gave them the day off. And in their hour of siesta, Sam Houston attacked them. And then in just 18 minutes, he took out the Mexican army, killing over 600 of their troops and only losing 8 of his own. In 18 minutes, he took over that whole entire army. And then the General Santa Anna hid amongst his troops after they got beaten, and he was around there for a couple days until one of his troops accidentally referred to him as El Presidente. And then they found him and snatched him up and took him hostage and used him to negotiate the Treaty of Alaska, which gave Texas its independence. So that's how Texas became the Republic of Texas, its own country for 10 years. But obviously Mexico was barking at the door there, and they needed some help, so they reached out to the United States, and eventually in 1845 they became the 28th state of the United States. That's the complete history of Texas in 8.5 minutes. Ask your middle school teacher what took her so long. I hope nobody asked any questions. Really abbreviated version. Alright, so look guys, there's somebody else I really want to tell you about. So up on the right, there's going to be a steel concrete building right here. It's not this one, but the one just out here. It's our Travis County Courthouse. But they renamed that after Heman Marion Sweat. He's a really incredible guy. He went to school at the University of Texas. He finally graduated and wanted to go to law school at the University of Texas, but he was denied admittance based upon his race. So he sued the school, and he was represented by Thurgood Marshall, who at the time was an NAACP lawyer, but later became the Supreme Court Justice. And they first heard those court cases here at the Travis County Courthouse. They took that all the way to the Supreme Court. And finally, in 1950, they heard that court case and they won. Eliminate race as a factor of admission into university school. That was 4 years before Brown versus Board of Education. So you can trace desegregation right back to Heman Marion Sweat. That's who we name our courthouse after. Hey guys, I want you to see something cool. Look over your left shoulder. Beautiful view of our Capitol. See straight ahead this giant building right here? See that angle right there off the side of this building? And also off the angle of this brown one right here? So they created these 20 vision corridors here in Austin back in the 90s. So you can't build a building to block the sight of the Capitol. So they've got these certain corridors throughout the city that they're not allowed to build and block everything. And that was before all this even happened. Somebody had the forethought to put those in back in the 90s. And thank God they did. So if you're walking around, if you see a building that's kind of angled weird, or turned in a weird direction, I bet you might be able to see the Capitol from it. Thank God they did, because this new building right in front of us, that is now the tallest building here in Austin. That's the 6th and Guadalupe building. They're almost done with it. It's the tallest residential building west of Mississippi. This building right here is 66 stories tall, over 860 feet tall. We keep going back and forth between San Francisco and Austin buildings. They build a giant residential building. We build the next one. And they build one. We build one. We just can't stop building around here. But the crazy thing about this building, so this is our new 6th and Guadalupe building. The tallest building here in Austin. Also has the biggest outdoor park of any skyscraper around here. But the crazy thing is, this brand new building sits right above one of the oldest neighborhoods in the entire city. So right here to your right, this is the Vermont block. So this is 11 Victorian style homes that goes about 3 blocks this way. So the Vermonts were a really important family back in the late 1800s and early 1900s. They're a big socialite family. They're part of the finance department here in Austin too. They're a really important family. But I want you guys to check out one thing about this house right here. So see this house right here? Let's look up on that upper balcony. You guys notice anything missing up there? You can even see if you get around this corner here, there's a little balcony coming off the bedroom. Got any guesses on what's missing up there? Anybody pick up on it yet? Oh, did I hear it? Doors. There's no doors. So back then, they based your property taxes on how many doors you had on the outside of your house. They were paying almost 20% of all the taxes in Austin at the time. So even they were like, enough is enough. I don't even need any doors up there. So they just built these elongated windows, and that's how they climbed in and out up there. So I bet it was like the original 6th Street up there. People climbing in and out of the windows with martinis, falling down, get wild back in Prohibition days. It's also a great spot to look up at a 6th and Guadalupe building. It's not very often you get to see a 66-story building. It'd be great once it's getting finished and I can go outside the sun all cleaned up and nice and excited for it. Okay, so we're sitting here at this stoplight. Can I tell you guys a joke while we're waiting right here? You guys got to promise not to throw me off the bus. It's not good. I'm just going to tell you it's not good. Alright, what is the official bird of Austin? Have you guys seen those like blackbirds flying around, the grackles? They're like, they'll steal your chips when you're sitting outside. Oh, beware your chips are. If you're outside, a grackle will come by and take those chips. That's not it. Those are rat with wings. What was you guess? Oh, okay. There's parrots. Keep an eye out for those green parrots. Back in the 90s, some family released their pets out there and they ended up colonizing here in Austin. So you see them around. Any other guess? Okay, I'm going to tell you. You guys. The official bird of Austin is the crane. Yes. slightly more than Mosey Road. Hey, this town has blown up. All that you see around here, just the last 15 to 20 years at the most, everything you see around here has been thrown up at 15 years. Straight ahead, this big gray building right here is the W Hotel. Beautiful hotel straight ahead, but this little short squatty building at the bottom of it, that's the home of the Austin City Limits television show. That's the Moody Theater. So that's where we film all the Austin City Limits in there. Coldplay's been in there. Willie Nelson has played 14 times. 14 times on there. You name an artist, they've been in there and played the Austin City Limits music show. It's actually incredible in there. But it's also home to some of our greatest concerts too. So not only do they film the Austin City Limits show there, but it's also home to all of our best concerts and shows. I'm gonna go see the Flaming Lips there in about a week and a half. I'm super psyched about that. But I've seen some of my favorite shows in the world inside of that. So you guys have heard me say Moody Amphitheater, Moody Center, Moody Theater. We're all confused too. Nobody knows which one you're going to. You have to be very specific and give address around here. But the Moody's, they put some money into our entertainment. So we're going to cruise up here. The next little part of town I want to show you guys is 2nd Street right up here. It's a great place to go and grab a bite to eat, do a little bit of shopping. Cruise down here. They got a statue of Willie Nelson in front. As a matter of fact, there's Willie up there on the deck right now. Oh, what's up, Willie? Hey, so we're coming up on our city hall right here. So they designed our city hall to look like an armadillo. I want everybody to look out the left side of the bus down this road. Left side of the bus. There's going to be a spike going across the street right here. See that spike? That's the tail. Then up on top is the shell right here. Follow that shell all the way around here to the front. You're going to see two little eyeballs right here. And then down below, these windows right here are the teeth. They designed our city hall to look like an armadillo. If you don't know what an armadillo looks like, it's like if a rat and a turtle got into a fight. It's hands down one of the ugliest creatures in the entire world. So that's our capital, our city hall for you. Oh my God. Hey, you know what makes all of this so good? This is This is where we have all our orchestra and ballet performances. But up on the promenade in front of that, we have festivals down here almost every weekend. As a matter of fact, this summer they had a festival called the Double Fest. It's exactly just big enough. We just came up with to blow bubbles and all. They have food trucks and live music out there. You come out all day blowing bubbles. Does it get any better than that? I mean, we love Austin. This place right here, we know how to have a good time. So you can also find a statue of Stevie Ray Vaughan right down there too. It's an incredible place to come get your morning walk in. If you get a cup of coffee, come down here to Auditorium Shores, take a walk around the trail. As a matter of fact, when you take the trail on the other side of 35 down there, they just recently redid it to where the trail goes out over the river. So it kind of weaves its way around over the world, out over the river, and the best time to do it is actually at night. Because they light up that trail out there and you get some of the best night views of the city down there. I love going on night bike rides down here. Wednesday night, when I tell you I was out there bringing it down on Wednesday night, I have my bike, and we cruise those trails. It's absolutely beautiful. Hey, this spot right here on your right, guys. Oh, got some cowboys. Right here on your right. That's the old Threadgills. Doesn't look like much now, man. They closed it down. Didn't make it through the pandemic. But Threadgills is one of our most original and storied venues in the entire city. Let's watch our heads as we go underneath these branches right here, Jeff. So Threadgills was actually where Willie Nelson first came when he moved there from Nashville back in 1974. So he came down here and he brought old Waylon Jennings down here with him too. And they started out at Threadgills. That's where the hippies and the cowboys got together. That's where outlaw country got its start. That's where Janis Joplin got her start. When she was, quote, in school, she was really down at Threadgills, meeting everybody down there and writing songs and making a name for herself. That's where Janis Joplin got her start. And that's where the outlaw country began, and that's what put Austin on the map and created the vibe of this beautiful city. Threadgills is a storied venue here in town. We were real sad to lose it. But man, Willie Nelson's still around here though. You can find Willie walking around. Hey, South Congress. This is by far my favorite part of the entire city. I'm so glad it's part of our tour. The cruise down here not only is it a great park to hang out, but it's the best way to see the dichotomy between old Austin and new Austin. Right here on the right, this is the oldest operating college in the entire state. The Texas School for the South. It started in about the 1850s. There's about 5 acres of land. Now since on the 60s, particularly 2 acres is the most prized property in the entire city. hike the ball, because they can't hear each other, they have a giant drum. So when they go to hike the ball, they hit that drum real hard, and that starts to play. It's super rad. We're so glad that Texas School of Deaf is part of Austin. Okay, so Old Austin, New Austin. I want to tell you something about Austin. You see that Austin Motel right there? See that symbol? It's the most phallic sign in the entire city. You can't miss it. Austin Motel. So in 1960, they built I-35. This was the main thoroughfare all the way down to San Antonio. But in 1960, when they built that, this area got forgotten about. So it became almost like a Skid Row area. A lot of drug use, a lot of prostitution around here for a lot of years. Nobody came down here unless you were looking for trouble. So you have the Austin Motel was still being operated during that time too, but it's like an hourly hotel that you can get in and out. But in the 90s, this visionary Liz Lamberth, she bought not only the Austin Motel, but the San Jose Motel inside, and she turned it into like a Palm Beach style hotel here, and then a mid-century modern hotel there, and also bought up these buildings here and single-handedly revitalized this entire area in the early 2000s. Most people were not even coming out to visit, but she had the forethought to change these hotels and bring life back to South Conner. She was buying the San Jose Hotel right here. I had somebody on my last tour that's staying there right now. He's like, that place is amazing. But it sits right next to our new office we started coming around. We got two modern buildings, all those great places to sit in our voices. We got stoves. Lemon food, hot dogs, some of those burgers in town too. That's what there is, y'all. But this sits sandwiched right between Guerrero and Tex-Mex. Guerrero is in its old feed store from the early 1900s. Killer Tex-Mex spot. Check out this grill and look at the car right here. Oh, my favorite one. We got Old Austin right here. A lot of our local businesses. We're doing our best to keep them around. One of our favorite ones here on South Conner. It's got to be Allen Boots, so let's see if we can do it. Oh, you guys smell Allen Boots? Oh, that's the official smell of Texas right there. That sweet smell of leather. Oh, my favorite smell in the world has got to be a baseball glove. The next thing after that is walking into Allen Boots. Oh, I love going to Allen Boots. These guys were sitting up in front of me a couple weeks ago. They were drinking out of these like disco ball cups, and you know they were having a good time. But she leans back and she goes, tell everybody on your tour, whatever they do, we got a couple coming upstairs, Mike, real quick. See if you guys can get settled in real fast before we just slide change. Everybody on tours, whatever you do, don't go day drinking before you go into Allen Boots. I was like, what are you talking about day drinking? She goes, I walked in yesterday and I walked out with a $700 pair of boots. I was like, oh, yeah, that happens. Hey, Comfortable Brad, local businesses right down here, on your right. Prototype Leather Vintage, great place to shop. A big top right there on your right. Big top. Best beauty shop in the entire city. There's a piece of things that'll make you feel like you're 6 years old again. Big top has it. They got all that old school in it. Old school box. I enjoy when I say it. I go like, hey, started out with just a little trailer next to this club I used to play at. That little place stayed up at 3 in the morning. Don't ask me why I was up eating. But anyway, George's Killer Tacos. But now they have locations all over the nation. So we have incredible food here in Austin. Music to the art. We got some of the best chefs around. Winner of Top Chef just opened up a restaurant in the Lion Hotel down there. But most of our best chefs are just caught up in little food trailers. So be a little adventurous when you guys are in town. But most importantly, you guys got to try Texas barbecue while you're here. I don't know if any of y'all had a chance to do it yet. But man, Texas barbecue, I'm still saying, you're going to hear it. Greatest barbecue in the world. I can say that because it's a fact. Well, man, I'm from Kansas City, and I can also say that too, because I got my friends visiting from Kansas City. They think they got the best barbecue. Then I take them and they get one bite of that brisket, and I see their eyes roll back in the back of their head. They know I'm right. They won't say it. Not a single one will admit it, but they know. So, has anybody heard of Franklin Barbecue at all? Franklin Barbecue is our most famous barbecue spot in the entire city. You got to line up at 8 a.m., sit in line for 3 hours still to this day. You got to wait 3 hours to get here. They sell out every day. So my buddy ran the pits at Franklin Barbecue. He did the overnight pits, midnight till 8 in the morning, keep the fires going, keep it going right. One day I wake up to take my kids into school. I turn on the news. Franklin's burned down. Burned down. I'm like, calling my buddy Matt. I was like, were you working last night? Yeah, I was working. I was like, did you burn Franklin's down? In his defense, there's a hurricane going far away, and it wasn't totally his fault, but he's still in charge. So even to this day, let's watch your heads right here, Joe. Oh, all right. So even to this day, when I see him, I walk up, like, man, how's the family doing? Everybody doing good? You remember that time you burnt Franklin's down in the river? He's like, really? Really gonna bring up Franklin's again? So, Franklin's, it's tough to get into. You gotta be on a mission to get you to Franklin's, but I'm gonna tell you. Best barbecue in the whole city. A place called Leroy and Lewis. It's right down the street on Congress Street down here. We don't go quite that far. Leroy and Lewis, little blue trailer at Cosmic Coffee up there. My favorite place to hang out is Cosmic Coffee. I'm there 3 days a week. They know me by name. I got my own mug in there. I love that place. But out back, Leroy and Lewis got these beef cheeks in there. Oh, it's like candy. Don't ask what cheeks they come from. Just don't ask those questions at barbecue place. But it absolutely melts in your mouth. They slow smoke all day. Best burger you're ever gonna have. They got the barbacoa in there. I'm telling you, I picked up my parents from the airport the other day. Took them straight from the airport to Leroy and Lewis. My dad's just glowing. He's like, how do we get picked up immediately and go have the greatest barbecue in the world? I'm like, that's how we roll, Dad. You know that. Then they have this place next to it called Tommy Won't Weenie. They got their hottest wings are called Holy Shnikes. They should only sell you one. We bought them, they came with 5. Me and my dad ate one. 45 minutes before I came back down to earth. The owner of Cosmic came out and saw me suffering. He brought me a glass of milk. It was bad. They should literally sell you one. When you ask for a Holy Shnikes, you'd be like, do you want one or do you want 1.5? They should never give you 5. You really want to push the limit. Boy, you step out there after you do 3 months. If you even want to go to the town, Cherry Black's Barbecue. It's right down in downtown, right off Park Street Road. They got killer barbecue down there too. It's a big place. The lines are a lot less long. You know, there's a ton of terrible parking down there. So you want to Uber or walk down there. But the greatest thing about Cherry Black is as soon as you get done eating down there, you go right across the street to that long center for the performing arts, that park there. And you can walk right down to the river. You got an incredible view of the city down there. You walk off some of that brisket and stuff. But if you don't want to leave downtown, Cherry Black's is your spot. But if you're adventurous, oh, you're going to do it. Great. Okay, guys, we're going to be through that car. There's a couple things I want to tell everybody about this happening tonight. We're going to be on in some shows that are going down tonight. It's going to be great. They're going to come up real quick, so I'll just tell you about it real quick. So there's a place next to Guero's. You know that Tex-Mex place we passed down there, the old feed store? Right next to that is an Oak Grove. It's just an Oak Grove, Oak Tree. It's a beautiful place. They got music down there starting up at 6:30. Killer band called the Shadow Dance playing in there. It's 100% free. We got great margaritas too. So the best place to come down here in Congress is in that like mid-afternoon, late afternoon. Walk up and down the shops, get your coffee. They're gonna have a farmer's market going on up there at the right corner. Right down here. And then head on in to the Oak Grove down there and catch some music. Starts up at 6:30, totally free down there. And there's that spot here on South Congress we're gonna pull over. If anybody's getting off, we might even be picking up a few. And it's Revival Cycles right here on the side. You can rent those motorcycles. If you want to put your life on the line in the Texas Hill Country, they'll go ahead and throw you on the back of one of those things out there. I don't recommend it totally. Oh, we're back, my friends. How's it going? We're just living the life, man. You gotta earn it. This heat's just letting you know. Right up above it is the Continental Club Gallery. I'm gonna point this out to you. My favorite dude in the entire city, Josh Purdue, is playing up there, and he will shake your booty till 2 in the morning up there. He doesn't get started until 10:30. Oh, 10:30, that's too late. I can't go out the show at 10:30. You're in Austin, we can go out the shows at 10:30 because it's the right thing to do for our souls. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm pulling you in. But luckily, you don't have to go that late if you don't want to, because at 8:30, this guy named David Jimenez is playing before him at the Continental Club Gallery, one of the best guitar players in Austin. This dude is so good, and they have a B3 organ up in that room. It's the best sound room in the whole thing. That is where the musicians go hang out. Never know who's going to jump on stage whenever you go up there. All right, we'll be coming up on those real quick. We got a proper runner and all that. Chips and sauce fire up here too. But straight ahead, you guys see that mural up there on the top? Got that beautiful lady up on top of the building. Right below that mural, down below there. That's the Continental Club. There'll be a little red door down there. They get started up at 6:30 down there too. You want to feel what it's like to be down here in Austin? Be transported right back to 1980s Austin. Go in there. It's a beautiful room to listen to music. But that's not where David Jimenez and Josh Purdue are going to be at. That's where I'm going to be at the Continental Club Gallery tonight. So right past that, we're going to cruise by here in a minute. I'm going to point it out. There's going to be 2 glass doors, and all the way on the corner is the second glass door next to the tattoo shop. We've got the Continental Club coming up. Again, great place. The band in there are going to be great too. Red door to the Continental Club. So that red awning, that glass door at the side, you go up to the top right here. That's the Continental Club Gallery. That's where the movies are shaking. Different friends here again. Including the leaders of first that I was telling you back into there, they had the greatest night they've ever had in their lives down here in Austin. So anyway, that's the key. I'm giving y'all the local secrets. I'm giving you some time to say. Okay. Let's get back to the tour. I'll just tell you guys how to do that. Now let's get back to the tour. Okay, right here on the right. This is New Austin right here. So this is Music Lane. I'll give you a heads up. No music happening here tonight. But this is one of our newer things right here, and it's taken a little while for me to embrace this area. They brought in a bunch of international, national shopping around here. I like to keep things local. The city trying to get through it, have at least 30% local business. Should be used for our chance to go in there. The old Austin, and I decided. Finally, I went and visited. It's a great place to go hang out. They got all these little walkways that you know, they got bars up there, cool coffee shops, great restaurants, great shopping all through there. They got a Rumi store there. They'll sell you a $700 sweater in the middle of summer. You got money to burn. But it's a great way to start our day. You go over there and little shops that make way with the old Austin. Go on up there, get you a slice of pizza. Come down and enjoy South. It's hands down my favorite part of the entire city. Okay, we'll make our way back into downtown now. Hey, has anybody heard of the bats? Has anybody gone to see the bats? Nobody even knows about it. Oh, this is gonna be so cool. I can't wait. They got a few people up here. So the bats are kind of like our unofficial mascot here in Austin. So we've got this bridge coming up right up here. This is our Congress Street Bridge. It's also the A.M.B. Richards Bridge. She's the famous governor. Most of us here in town call it Congress Street Bridge, but we tell people it's called the Bat Bridge as well. Because when they redid this bridge, they built it, and it turns out it created the perfect home for Mexican free-tailed bats. So underneath this bridge, over 1.5 million Mexican free-tailed bats call that home. So every night at dusk, they all fly out at the same time. So you'll come down here around dusk. I'm not sure when that happens these days. Maybe 6:45, 7-ish? Check that oracle in your pocket down there. It'll tell you what time it is. But the best time to see them is between March and October, but especially right now. The last couple tours that I've given, people have told me they've been incredible the last couple nights. The thing is, it starts to get to be about dusk, and then they all fly out from underneath the bridge in both directions down the river, and it looks like this giant black cloud of bats flying out. And if it's just before dusk, you can see them all perfectly. It's great. And sometimes they'll wait just a little bit later, and it gets a little tougher to see them, but you can still see them fly out there. And those bats fly out and eat 10,000 to 30,000 pounds of insects every single night. Every single night. They fly out just in the early evening. You can take a little picnic lunch out with Captain Cruise that will all the way down to 35, back right here, kill a way to see the city. Hey guys, take a look at this mural straight up right here. Those of you downstairs might not be able to look up this time. This is a beautiful mural here in town, but the reason why I point that out too, not only just because it's awesome, but because Austin's really embraced this graffiti kind of mural style of artwork here in town. But I teach my kids the difference between tagging and graffiti. But graffiti is art. You know, city has done this great job of embracing that kind of art. So you guys are out walking around, look down little alleyways, look along the sides of buildings, stuff like that. We have beautiful art all over the city. And it's just kind of hidden around everything. Okay guys, so I left something out when we were talking about Chapel Road. You guys see our Goddess of Liberty sitting right on top of our beautiful rotunda up there? That's our Goddess of Liberty. She's 16 feet tall. She's got a saber in her right hand and a beautiful Texas star in her left. She stands up there representing liberty and justice. So back in the 80s, they had to bring her down because they were fixing the rotunda up there, and they noticed she was starting to get cracked and starting to break apart a little bit because she was made out of beech and copper. So eventually they brought her down from there. She had short period of time. We were shorter than our nation's capital. But when they got her all fixed up and remodeled, she weighed 2,000. What are we doing here? We don't need a better throw than that. Put a little arm in it. Except for ice cream. Sunscreen. How about ice cream? We got sunscreen. We need ice cream. Taking an adventure tour up here. Oh my God. That might be the worst throws I've ever seen. That was literally like 3 out of 20. Okay, back to our beautiful goddess of liberty. So when they took her down and remodeled her, she weighed 2,200 pounds by the time they were done getting her done. They couldn't get her back up there. So they had to make a replica of her out of aluminum. They made a replica of her out of aluminum that weighed 1,100 pounds. They had to call in the Texas National Guard to helicopter her back up on the top. So you can find that original Goddess of Liberty in that Texas State History Museum. I'm going to give you guys a little heads up. When you walk in there, there's going to be this cool World War II plane hanging up from the top too. The Goddess of Liberty's going to right there. You're going to be looking at that plane and you're going to look down here and you're going to go, whoa! She is not the most beautiful thing in the world. I'm just giving you a heads up. I'm being honest right here. She is very terrible looking. So the guy who designed her is Elijah Meyer. He was thinking he would be down here and she'd be up there, so it kind of elongated some of the features of her face, kind of make it like it was illusion. You really try to make it like it didn't work out here. So it actually was quite terrifying. So whenever you go see her right there, don't be surprised that she is not going to be good looking. And we've had so much growth here in Austin. You guys look around these beautiful buildings. They refer to us as Silicon Hills these days. We got Facebook, Google all calling this their headquarters. Tesla's here now. SpaceX building giant Tesla factory outside town, building their Cybertrucks and batteries out there. Tons of growth. Oh, here's some incredible murals right here. Some of my favorites in town right here on the right. Just last week, my wife was walking back to her work down the road right here. She saw Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters jump out of the car to come take a picture of that one right there. She froze right in her steps. She wanted to go say hi, but all she could get out of her mouth was, "Don't drop, don't drop, don't drop." I was like, man, you couldn't even go say hi to our man. He used to be in Nirvana. So keep your eyes out for murals when you're walking around. We got beautiful artwork all over our city. We got the last floppy disk repair company in the entire world right here. If you got the old Oregon Trail discs from back when you were a kid, I'll put them on your phone right here for you. I'm totally kidding. That actually is the speakeasy. So the crazy thing about that is you got to follow like their Instagram or something like that. They tell you 2 other bars to go to in town, and each bartender gives you half the code to get into that one right there. So they got speakeasies are kind of blown up here in Austin. It's kind of funny when they just kind of soaking in places. You got to figure out ways to get into them. There's a fireside hostel right up there when you walk in. This guy looks really unused before back in the day. And then you got to go over to their library and find the right book to pull, and it opens up to the bar down there. Anyway, use some phones you guys are walking around. We got these oracles in our pocket right here. We're right here in Antone. Oh man, Antone's right here. This is the home of the blues here in Austin. I'm thinking they got some sort of phone driver there to do an autograph right now. Right after that. But that is the home of the blues. Austin has been here Antone's been here since the 70s. Everybody's played there. B.B. King, Albertson's been in there. Stevie Ray Vaughan is slammed down inside of Antone's right there. I'm going to tell you guys about an artist real quick that I want y'all to know. His name is Gary Clark Jr. Gary Clark Jr. He's a young kid, man. He's so good. He came out here awesome. One of the best blues guitar players in soul singing. Granted, won a Grammy for a soul out Stuart Brown and Rolling Stone. But I saw him playing Antone's when he was 15 years old. He walked into Antone's, grabbed the guitar from Alan Haynes who was playing in there. Watch your heads, guys, real quick. If you can see right here. He goes up on stage. Alan Haynes hands him his guitar. This kid's like 6 feet tall, weighs 95 pounds. He puts on his guitar, blows the roof off the place. Absolutely tore that place up. Everybody was going nuts. Hands the guitar back, and then he walks right out the front door with his dad and dance. Now this guy tours the world, man, making some of the greatest music in the world. He's actually going to be playing for the UT football game just next Saturday out in that little area. I showed you where they're partying. They set up a big stage out there. Gary Clark Jr. is going to be out there. I'll be out there watching him. I love that dude. Gary Clark will show up at the Continental Club Gallery. I've been in there numerous times where he just walks in the door and hangs out, and then all of a sudden they'll pull him up on stage. You never know what's going to happen at the gallery. You guys remember when I talked about Waterloo Park? You hear about Waterloo a lot here in town? We got Waterloo Records, Waterloo Sparkling Water, all that good stuff here. That's because Austin used to be called Waterloo. That was the original name of Austin. So that Waterloo original enclave, that original compound, was this entire area right here. I told you about how it used to flood all the way up here in 3rd Street. So this was that main area of that old Waterloo compound. Almost all of it is gone. There's one last house left from that original Waterloo compound. It's going to be coming up right here on the right here. Has anybody been to, a couple of y'all went down to San Antonio. You guys been to the Riverwalk down there? You head shaking down there? It's really the only reason why you I love the Riverwalk too. No, we're doing our own Riverwalk today also too. It's going to start at that Waterloo Park, come all the way through the city and go all the way down to the river down there. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be done in about 2 to 27 years. Just keep coming around and visit. All right, guys, so you remember that house I was telling you about? This is the very last house from that Waterloo compound right here on the right. This is the last standing house, that original city here in Austin. It's now Moonshine Restaurant. Great place to go grab lunch too with Sunday brunch and second to none. But we're so thankful that we're here. This is the very last house from that river of Austin and all this closures coming down. Great thing is you guys can keep going back here to Austin. It's always going to be here. All right, making our way back to the visitor center right now, y'all. Thanks for joining me today. Hey, all this stuff I'm telling y'all up here, it all comes from the heart. I really love this city, man. I raised my kids here. I've been here for 25 years. I was out on Wednesday night dancing the reggae till 1:30 in the morning. I'm going to be going out tonight to go see some shows. This place keeps me inspired. I'm going to jump on my bike right now and ride to Barton Springs because I need that. Got to keep the soul filled. And because if I get bored, I get out. That's my wife. She knows. If I get bored, it's not good. But I want you guys to get that same feeling while you're here. Do something you've never done before. Stay up later than you want to. Find a food or a restaurant you never tried. But be adventurous while you guys are here. Have fun while you're here, most importantly. Hey, we accept tips and gratuity, man. If you guys had a good time, that makes me and Mike super happy. We love tips. They're in the reviews. Man, that's awesome too. We're a locally owned company. But most importantly, have a great time while you're in town tonight, guys. Do something amazing, and be awesome. Thanks for joining me, y'all. Hey, I'm outside giving recommendations if anybody wants anything. I'm ready to give the city away. You just let me know. But you won't go wrong either. All right, y'all. Have a good one.
Austin, Texas, downtown area. The tour was great. The tour guide was great. Everything was just great. So it was a great tour. So I recommend this if you come to Austin, Texas, to take the tour bus and do a tour of the city. So thanks for watching this channel. I hope you enjoyed the tour of Austin, Texas. Please like, share, comment, and please subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.
Okay.